Hey, what's going on, Power Sweep coaches? This is Stephen Harless, owner slash coach of the Washington Redskins, and welcome to the first annual Power Sweep podcast. I used to do these things for the old league. I used to run the XFL back in the day, and they're pretty fun, pretty informative. It gets conversation flowing on the boards and various opinions, and actually helps make the league a little bit more open. Everything's out there, talked about, makes it funner. Looking forward to these things. Going over games and previews and whatnot. That's about what the show's going to have on it. It's going to have some opinionated opinions by me, but nothing disrespectful. Just like I said, just getting stuff out there, getting the activity of the board up, hearing from everybody in the league what they think about different rules, different things that's going on in the game, things that will help the league, things that possibly could hurt the league. So that's basically what this is for. It's hopefully going to be one every Sunday, previewing the 3 weeks coming up and the 3 weeks that was just played. And that's about it for right now. I'm going to jump in right into the conference championship games. As myself played the Atlanta Falcons and the Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars played. First off, both games were similar. The losing team outgained the winning team. Turnovers killed both losing teams. They was able to move the ball, but they lost the turnover battle. First game was the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City had home field advantage in this one. It was snowing, rough weather to play in, especially on the video game. Receivers falling down on routes and all kinds of stuff. Jags was able to pull that one out, 29-13. Zach Redmond was 14 of 18, 341 yards and 2 touchdowns and an interception. Jacksonville was able to come 2 early turnovers in the game to actually pull that win out. Nick Swanson for the Chiefs had 3 costly interceptions. Broussard had 7 receptions for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns with the longest 78. And I'm sure he had some other long ones in that game, which, Daddy Leagues will only tell you the longest, but the longest was 78, but he only had 7 receptions, but 235 yards for 2 touchdowns. So I guess there was a couple 50s and 60-yarders in there as well. And Jacksonville done something that not many people was able to do all season, and he held Davis to only 69 yards on the ground and basically forced Chiefs to throw 36 times, which for me watching the game, I can tell the Chiefs didn't want to go into that game throwing 36 times. I don't think they've had to do that all season. I don't think he was comfortable with throwing the ball 36 times, and it really forced him off his game. But hats off to the Jacksonville Jaguars on getting a berth to this year's Super Bowl. Next up was the Washington Redskins against the Atlanta Falcons. I knew that was going to be a tough game going in. Ent was able to beat me last year. Actually, he destroyed me last year. Last year's game, new player, tried to use her hit stick, Adrian Peterson, a couple times in that game, and that didn't work out because he just busted runs continuously on me. But this year was a different story, a whole lot closer. I threw some stupid passes in my own territory. I think 2 out of 3 of those turnovers was in my own territory. That really put my back against the wall early. I thought I was going to be able to cruise once the first play of the game. Atlanta comes out and throws a pick and sets me up inside the 20, and I really thought that I was going to be able to cruise from then. I wasn't able to capitalize on that interception. I think I got 3 out of it, and then I'm pretty sure I forced him to a 3-and-out on the next series. And that's when the turnover bug hit me, and I was able to battle back in that game, tied it up late, and just wasn't able to get a stop there on the last possession of the game. Adrian Peterson, I ain't going to say he had an amazing day, but he had a steady day at 20 attempts, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Falcons kept it pretty even ratio, whether from your pass to run ratio. You know, you never know what he's going to do. Great at reading coverages, great at hitting his reads, and not throwing into coverage other than that, you know, that one pass, first play of the game that Moody was able to intercept. Deshaun Jackson had a hell of a day, 5 catches, 179 yards, 1 touchdown, basically kept me in it. He hurt RG3 early. RG3 came back into the game, but Kirk Cousins came in threw one pass for 79 yards, threw a dime to Deshaun Jackson down the sideline. So that's something to look at for next season. I thought about not franchising RG3, but I went ahead and done it. I sort of wish I didn't now. But definitely going to look at that situation next year and see where that takes me. But so we got Jacksonville versus Atlanta in the Super Bowl. Should be one hell of a Super Bowl. We got the number 1 offense versus the number 4 defense, as in Jacksonville's defense. Atlanta preview. Atlanta is probably one of the best teams in this league that I've saw usually the middle linebacker. I tested him a couple times early to see if he was going to make those plays, and he did. He made some amazing plays with the middle linebacker Ross. It was unreal. He's great with Adrian Peterson. Even as Adrian Peterson gets old, he's making plays with him. Like I said, he's got a steady running game, and he can hit you for the big one down the field with his rookie wide receiver Fleming. I think that guy's got 98 speed, 96 acceleration, so he can stretch the defense as well. So that's going to be the interesting matchup with that offense versus that defense. I don't think Jacksonville will turn the ball over like I did, but you still got to watch out for Ross across the middle. He locks up that middle game. I didn't figure it out till late that you can really test Atlanta down the field. He really gives up. He makes you throw the ball down the field, and he can make those plays too. But it's one-on-one coverage most of the time, and it's user versus user. And I was able to win a couple of those battles. That's what kept me in it. But you're not going to be able to throw across the middle against Atlanta much. You're going to have to get the running game going, which I wasn't able to do with Morris. I was able to get it going late, but my back was against the wall so early that I had to abandon the running game basically in the second and third quarter. I was able to pick it up in the fourth when I cut it 7, was able to gash him with a couple runs here and there. But Atlanta's a pretty solid team. Probably hats off to him. He's the best in the NFC. He deserved that victory. So props to Atlanta. I've never played Jacksonville. I've saw him play a couple times on Twitch. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to call the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs and get his insight on what Jacksonville brings to the table, his weaknesses, his strengths, what he was able to do against him, and what he was able not to do against him. So let me fiddle on my phone a little bit and get his number pulled up, and we're going to give him a call and see if we can get a preview right here and now. Hopefully he'll answer. If not, I'm just going to have to wing this thing and just basically give you some ideas of what I've saw off Twitch. Well, hopefully he'll answer. Let's see here.
You reached Paul. I can't come to the phone right now.
All right. He wasn't around. Oh, my goodness. Got stood up for the first Nogler podcast of Power Sweep. Oh, well. It happens. He's probably busy or something. Anyway, from what I saw from Jacksonville, Denard Robinson is a beast, has all kinds of speed. He loves to run outside with him. You won't see too much of Denard Robinson up the middle. And I think Atlanta can stop that outside run. He stopped it against me, and I had the number one rushing attack in the NFL. So I have no reason to believe that he's not going to be able to stop Denard Robinson in this game. Basically, if Atlanta, they will turn the ball over, but it's very rare. We'll have to see. But if Atlanta can win that turnover battle and hold Denard Robinson at bay like I think he will, I really believe that Atlanta wins this Super Bowl handily. I'm saying 28-17 Atlanta. Anyway, on to the other rumors and stuff going on in the league outside of football. At first, I want to make a sincere apology to – we had a confidence thread going, I guess, 2 weeks ago, and I came across and said something that it came out wrong, and I didn't mean it the way that it came out. I guess it came out like I was calling people terrible at this Madden, and I didn't mean it like I guess a lot of people, took it. See, at Madden 25, last year's Madden, I was terrible at Madden 25. A lot of people know my game is short passes, great run game, and I just couldn't get that going in Madden 25 because Madden 25 it was the deep ball, and I don't like throwing the deep ball. It's just not my game. It just makes me uncomfortable. I don't like throwing the deep ball. I don't trust my deep ball. And basically, I just giving you a scouting report to beat me. But, I was just terrible for that fact because I refused to change. I refused to change on how the game was made up. And that's what I was trying to say, that I was terrible at Madden last year. And just because I'm a great Madden player doesn't mean that I'm going to be great at every Madden. Because Madden changes from year in and year out. They implement different things to the game. They change. They take things out. They take things out that worked last year that's not going to work on this game. And it's all about adapting to what kind of game they made year in and year out. And, I refused to do that last year. And that's what I was saying, that maybe your game that you had on Madden last year is terrible. It worked in this game, in last year's game, but it's not going to work in this year's game. That it, using that game plan and using that play style is going to make you terrible at this Madden. Where last year, you was having 10-win seasons, and this year you're 8-8 or less because you're refusing to change. And that's what I was getting at. And I didn't mean no disrespect to anybody. I'm not like that. The last thing I want to do is disrespect anyone. And I don't know who made the comment. I think someone made a comment that I was boasting about a 16-0 record. And I wasn't doing that. I honestly was trying to just prove a point, but it came across wrong. And I think when someone made the comment that I was boasting about my 16-0 record, I actually did lose my temper on that, because that's not what I'm doing. Anything I say is here to help the league, and I wouldn't go down that road of trying intentionally to disrespect somebody. So I apologize for that. That's why I hate texting. I hate typing. I'd rather talk to you on the phone, because stuff, how stuff gets, misconstrued on text message. It happens all the time, happens with me and my girlfriend, people at work, just sometimes stuff don't come out right when you're typing it. But anyway, now that we're talking about this confidence issue, I just want to hit on it that these changes that we're making are great. I think that it will help the league somewhat. But if people doesn't start taking care of the rock and stop turning the ball over, that these changes are not going to help at all. I mean, yes, confidence has an issue on some throws. Now, if you don't remember, remember when I took over the Redskins, they were 3-13 when I took them over. So I had zero confidence on every player almost. anywhere between 0 to 30. And I was able to turn them around and get a nice little 11-4 season. Excuse me. And that was with 0 to 30 confidence. So I know we have enough talent in this league where everyone else can do it too, but you have to take care of that rock. And I'm just looking here at all the interceptions that was thrown this season. You have Denver at 52, Green Bay 47, Patriots 47, Raiders 44, Vikings 42, Giants 41, Bengals 41, Pittsburgh 39, Jets 35, Dolphins 35, Ravens 34, Seattle 32, Tampa 32, Panthers 32, Bills 31, and Texans 30. And I sort of cut it off at 30. But, people, that's a lot of interceptions. And no wonder the confidence is so low. You got to think, okay, you throw a pick. That's -3 right there on that player. Then let's say you threw a pick in the red zone, and you get points deducted for not dominating the red zone. Or you throw a pick in your own territory, and he's able to stick that in for a touchdown against your defense where he only had to drive 17 yards. Well, that's -3 to your DBs if he passed against them and they gave up too many TDs. You get -3 for that. Or it was a running touchdown, your defensive line will hit -3 for that because your quarterback threw an interception in the red zone and it put your defense, back against the wall, and they're paying the price confidence-wise. So it all stems from your quarterback. You have to get the job done with your quarterback. If your quarterback plays good and his confidence goes up, everything else falls in line with, your offensive line getting confidence for putting points on the board, or your wide receivers, getting confidence for having a good game. You just got, you can't be afraid you ain't got to score on every drive. You can't be afraid to punt. And the deep ball is not there this year. It's there once in a blue moon. You can find them in a tight coverage and you can hit them with it. But more than likely, that deep ball is gone. It's 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and people's got to adapt their play style. And that's just my in 2 cents on it. And I think we have the talent in this league to do that. But you got to change with the game. You can't throw 40-plus interceptions a year and expect to make the playoffs. That's just not going to happen. That's not going to happen in the real NFL, and that's not going to happen in power sweep. So your quarterback is the main man that affects the rest of your team's confidence. If he's playing well, the rest of your team's going to be playing well in the long run. Might take a couple games for it to get it up there. You might lose a couple games because you wasn't aggressive enough. But at least the confidence will be there in the long run, and you can build on that. But that's like I said, that's just my opinion, and I'd love to hear your comments below of what you think. It's not mean to disrespect anybody. That's just my honest opinion. Your quarterback means that much to the confidence rating. He affects everybody, even the defense. So on my last topic of the day, I want to talk about the 4-6 Bear. I don't know if a lot of people know, it was talked about getting banned at the end of this season. Well, that's what I run. And, I've had some texts back and forth that it was too potent and stuff like that. And me and Ent talked last night, and he was upset that I wasn't running the 4-6 because Ent ate it alive last year because he knows what to do against it. Basically, when I run the 4-6 Bear, I set it up to look the same as either the wall stunt or the cover 3. You're not going to know what it is. And, if you max protect to stop the blitz, then, and I'm in a cover 3, well, you have 2 wide receivers going out for a pass against, an entire cover 3, and I like those chances. And then, if you don't slide protect, if you don't block a running back when you think the blitz is coming, yeah, it's going to get in. Most blitzes are going to get in unless you slide protect. You have to learn to use your hot routes. And yeah, I agree. I ran it a little bit too much, and I need to get better at that. But it's not taking advantage of AI flaws. It's all it is a simple baseline, crash my defensive line down, and either blitz one of the left or right linebackers. That's it. It's no AI flaws or anything like that. It's just bringing more pressure than you can block, and it's forcing you to make the adjustments. And people that fail to do that, it's going to tear you up. But look how many passing yards I've gave up this season. I've got to like the 28th pass defense in power sweep. So it's not like my defense is destroying people. But I agree. Maybe I need to come off of how much I run it. It was my run defense, and most of the time it was my first down defense or second and third and short defense, whether it was going to be the wall stone or whether it was going to be the cover 3. Sometimes I would run the 4-6 bear cover 3 on like a 3rd and 2 when I didn't think he trusted the run, and then I'd do the underneath coverage. That way I knew, because he's going short on that 3rd and 2, so you hit him with that underneath coverage, and maybe they'll throw in the coverage, trying to do a little quick slant or a little quick curl with the tight end, something like that. That's all it was, and that's, like I said, that's my opinion on it. As far as I know, it's not going to get banned next season, and I plan on running it, but I plan on coming off of it a whole lot more than I was probably running it 60 to 65% of the time, and yeah, I need to get that ratio down. But I also think that sometimes, in my opinion, sometimes you shouldn't have to mix stuff up on defense. In real life, basically, it's the offensive's job to mix it up on offense and do things to attack your defense to make you switch it up on defense. In real life, you think, the Seattle Seahawks, all they do is run a cover 3 the entire game. I mean, they even said it in the Super Bowl, until people do the right things to make them come out of it. So my opinion is maybe we shouldn't have a rule to mix it up on defense. Maybe it's the offense's job to mix it up enough on offense to make you come out of that defense. Hit them with a long pass, or keep on passing consistent to make them come out of that 4-3. I mean, that 4-6, to make them come out of that cover 3. You got to force the defense to come out of their coverage. But like I said, that's an opinion, and I'd love to hear everyone's comments down below. This is probably going to be the end of the podcast. There's really not much going on, just one game left, and that's the Super Bowl. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. Hopefully it'll be every Sunday. Before it'll be a guest on the show. Hit me up, and we can do some interviews. Didn't have that much to go over this Sunday, but next Sunday it should be packed full, as the free agency draft is over with and the real draft's over with, and we're about to kick off the season this time next week. So until next week, this is Stephen Harless, head coach of the Washington Redskins. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.